Welcome back to the Outlaw Ranch, y'all. Last time we left off about the tire failure that I had. That tire failure was over here. It was on the driver's side inner dual. And we talked about the belts that broke on the inside. And here you can see there's good tread here. And then right in here, it is smooth all the way across. This was on the inner dual. I found another one. I thought I had another one, but I couldn't find it right off. Well, it was the passenger side outer dual, and here it is. And what you can see is here we have all three siping in the lugs on both sides. And then as we get over here, this one is missing all but maybe just a hint of that one. This one's completely gone. This one's completely gone. This one, this one, this one. And then you start to see the sipes a little bit. Then we have a hint. And then here they are again, all three sipes again. So this one also probably has broken belts. It's just starting to kind of come apart here. That was all that I caught right away. I've pulled the tires off. I'm going to break them down and we'll get started on this process of getting these tires exchanged. This one here was on the inner dual. Inner duals wear the least. And this one, I don't know if it's going to show up or not, but this one has significantly more tread. Not sure if it's supposed to be that bad, but or that much of a difference, but it is a substantial difference there compared to the outer dual here. Hope that makes sense to y'all. Anyways, we'll come back as soon as I got something else done. Just as another update here on these old tires. I was getting ready to load them in the truck to get them taken care of, and I came across this. This here, you can see some of the belts in here in this crack. This one was on the front driver's side, and that would have been the inside of it, which is why I never saw it. So just another place where these old tires were failing, and I never caught that. So glad we're getting this one taken care of. All right, it's been a couple of days since we left off. I got my new tires. I got them mounted and balanced, and here they are. This is the Toyo MT, part of their open country line. I did upsize these tires a couple of more sizes. Here you can see the size. It's a 255/85 R16. So the size that was on this truck that we just replaced was a 235/85 16. So what is that? 20 millimeters less in width. This is, I think, my third or fourth set of the MTs, and I've never had a failure, never had one pop, anything like that. The tire shop was awesome. They got all of the sidewalls facing the right way. These tires have two different sidewalls. This sidewall has these, I don't know, grooves or ridges in the letters. On the other side, it is completely smooth. The letters don't stand out quite as far as these ones, and there's no ridges or anything. It's just all one dimension there. There is two issues with fitting these tires on this truck. Issue number one is up here on the front. Because these are so much larger than factory, I think the factory size was a 215 or a 225 75/16, so they were pathetically small. This truck didn't even look like a four-wheel drive. It's like a two-wheel drive is what it looks like. Is right here on this leading edge of the bumper here, right here, and then you can see, let's see if I can get it to focus there. Right there, it's polished smooth. So the tires are just rubbing there. They do not rub anywhere here on the running board / mud flat. So it's just on the leading edge of the bumper. There's two kind of simple solutions. Solution number one, come in here with a Sawzall or a cut-off wheel on an angle grinder and just cut this little corner off of both. That would fix it the cheapest. The second option, since this truck has torsion bars, we can tighten up the torsion bars, lift the truck probably minimally, say, an inch, and that would clear the front. Problem is, if you look at the gap here between the top of the tire and the fender, and the same thing back here, this truck, the rear suspension is pretty much worn out. So the front would probably be an inch high. I think it's fairly level now just from sagging springs. This truck lived with an overhead camper on it. Anyways, that would be another solution. We could tighten the torsion bars an inch, then we got to get it aligned. Not sure yet how I'm going to fix this. Problem number two, with these wheels, there is just a hint of daylight. You can see it there every once in a while between these tires. The sidewalls are very aggressive. You can get like a Post-it card through there, or a 3x5 card. If you fold it in half, it will fit between there. But at the bottom, you can clearly see they touch. No doubt about that. Now, these sidewall lugs are probably to blame. You can see here and here, and they do stand out quite a bit. That's probably what is causing the issue here, which would be on the rear, is that. So, two options here that we can do to fix that. Option number one, I get a 1/4 inch spacer, just stick it between the rear duals and suck it down. To do that though, I probably am going to have to change this setup. So this ring here makes these so that these are lug-centric wheels. If you actually look here, that wheel is tight to the hub. So the wheels are hub-centric wheels. I'm not sure, this is all factory GM stuff. I don't know why they do that. But we take that little black ring off, we change the lug nuts to those lug nuts that have like a washer that goes up against the wheel, so it fits nice and flush, and then we add the 1/4 inch spacer. I'm not sure if I would get full thread engagement. Now on these, you can clearly see that stud is inside of that lug nut, but you can also see inside that lug nut there are no more threads on this outside portion. So we probably have full lug engagement. That ring is probably only about 1/8 of an inch. So to put a 1/4 inch spacer on there, even with the new lug nuts, I don't know. Same thing here up front. We have these rings. You can see that the wheel is hub-centric. So we don't really need this ring, but we would have to replace the lug nuts with something else. And here you can really see there are no more threads inside that lug nut. So we do have full thread engagement. So that's another option. The other option for the rear, that 1/4 inch spacer might make it so that we do not have full thread engagement. They make an adapter. It's kind of a wheel spacer, but it does, you can get them to adapt to different lug patterns and stuff like that. We can put, say, a 1 inch, I'll have to measure the studs, a 1 inch adapter. So the adapter would bolt the inner dual to the axle, and then the adapter has 8 more studs. So you can, what you do is mount the outer dual to that adapter. And that would give you an inch space or something like that. If I go the inch, I think that outside of that tire might protrude just the slightest amount past that fender. I don't know. I typically like to keep my tires inside the fenders, because we've all driven down the road and had somebody throw a rock out of their tire and hit our windshield. It always makes us mad, and I don't want to do that to somebody else. But those are the two options. Remember, these tires and this truck, the way it sits, this is kind of a temporary thing. I'm hoping to get the solid axles put on this within the next year. So these tires are only going to be on here like a year maybe, and then they're going to go on my trailer. And I know that's faux pas to put light truck tires, especially mud tires, on a trailer. But when you're cheap, this is what you got to do. These tires are amazing. They balance with very little weight. It's a 1.5 ounce weight. They balance with very minimal weight. Let's see. The driver's front, there are no weights on the outside. Now there's probably some on the inside. I haven't got the truck lifted high enough to kind of get under it and look. This is the other front, nothing on the outside again. This is the outer dual on the driver's side, and that is a 2 ounce weight. So very minimal weights. I'm a Toyo snob. I think I've had 3 sets of these now, 3 or 4, I can't remember, a few. This is just the AT2. I've had 2 sets of the AT2 Extremes on a Mega Cab Dodge. I've had the original ATs. I have the AT3s on my white tow rig. So I've had a few, and they are awesome tires. Anyways, folks, I hope that brings us up to date with everything that I've done. The tires do fit really well on the truck. They don't really stick out. They are pretty flush with the flaps and everything. Y'all take care. Please like, share, subscribe. All of that really does help the channel. And you guys are great for even watching this, low-ranked YouTube deal. So I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day, and we'll catch you up on the next one.